The rain that afternoon had a voice of its own, not a gentle spring drizzle but a deep, rumbling roar that swallowed every other sound in Jefferson High's parking lot. It slammed against the bike racks, turned painted lane lines into streaks of molten gold, and made the red Ducati near the exit look like a fresh wound in the asphalt. Riley Kane stepped off the curb at precisely 3:10 p.m. and 42 seconds. Her dad's old field watch, cracked crystal and all, still kept perfect time. 19 years old, transfer papers still warm in her pocket, green military sweater hanging loose over a frame that looked breakable until you noticed how her shoulders squared when she walked. Her duffel hit a puddle first, then her boot. Water climbed her jeans like ivy. She didn't see Connor Hayes until his shadow cut across her reflection. Blue and yellow varsity jacket, collar popped against the rain. Behind him came Marcus, a 6'4" of steroids and entitlement. Diego, already filming. Trent with the hyena laugh. Kyle, silent except when bones broke. And Landon, the freshman desperate to belong. 6 of them. The welcome committee had grown. New girls get a bike, Connor announced loud enough for every phone recording. Let's see if she can still ride it after this. The first helmet came faster, Marcus swinging like a wrecking ball. Riley's vision exploded. White, blood, ozone. Her knees dipped, but muscle memory took over. Absorb, redirect, respond. She dropped into the puddle on purpose, water erupting in a silver crown that caught every flash. Connor laughed to the sharp, brittle sound of a boy who'd never lost. Trent came next, swinging wild from overhead. Riley rolled under his guard and struck upward, palm to the soft spot under his sternum. His breath left him like a punctured tire. Diego lunged, phone still recording, helmet raised. Riley caught his wrist, twisted, and flung him across the asphalt. His phone skidded into the gutter and kept filming. Landon hesitated. Wrong move. Riley hooked his ankle, drove her shoulder into his chest, and sent him windmilling into the deepest puddle. Kyle moved like a ghost, arms locking around her throat. Riley dropped her weight, stomped his instep, felt the crunch. He loosened just enough for her elbow to slam his solar plexus, knee to his groin. He folded silently. 6 bullies, 12 seconds. The parking lot looked like a battlefield. Connor stood alone now, helmet shaking in his grip. Rain streaked his face, mixing with something that finally looked like fear. Still want to welcome me? She asked. He swung wildly. She ducked, drove her shoulder into him, used his own momentum to pivot his body through the air. He hit the pavement 4 yards away, sliding through mud until his varsity letters peeled off. Riley crouched beside him. Name's Riley. Learn it. She stood and turned to the crowd. Anyone else? Phones rose higher. She walked away, unaware that millions of views were about to follow. The fallout hit instantly. Principal Harrow burst from the gym with his umbrella turned inside out and his tie flapping like a white flag. The students parted around Riley as if she carried a force field. Mia Delgado, a junior, wheelchair user, unofficial archivist of all school drama, and niece of Riley's social worker, blocked Harrow's path. Self-defense. 47 phones say so, she said, holding up hers with the fight playing in slow-motion glory. In Harrow's office, fluorescent lights buzzed like angry hornets. Riley sat dripping on the linoleum while Harrow paced, rattling off injuries. 6 students hurt, 2 concussions, 1 broken nose. You're looking at expulsion, assault charges, juvenile detention. The door slammed open. Lawrence Hayes, Connor's father, senior partner at a law firm, strode in crisp and dry despite the storm. I want her arrested today. Charged as an adult. He slapped a business card on the desk like a judge delivering a sentence. Riley's phone vibrated. Unknown number. A message she'd seen in nightmares for 2 years. That night, the foster home smelled of microwave lasagna and exhaustion. Mrs. Delgado slept on the couch, case files scattered like tarot cards predicting doom. Riley packed lightly. 1 duffel, her dad's dog tags, the green sweater, a burner phone with 3 numbers she hoped never to call, and a flash drive wrapped in tape with her initials carved into it. She was halfway out the window when headlights sliced through the curtains. A black SUV, government plates hidden under mud. A woman stepped out, a mid-40s, trench coat, umbrella angled to hide her eyes. Riley Kane, she called. We need to talk about Sergeant Elias Kane. My father's dead. That's the official story, the one they tell widows and children. She stepped closer. Your father volunteered you for Project Reflex at 14. You were their best asset. Then he tried to shut it down. They staged the accident. Riley's grip tightened on her helmet. Who's they? Get in. I'll explain on the way. Her phone buzzed again. A photo of her mid-fight. Helmet arcing toward Kyle's face. Time-stamped. Captioned in code. Riley ran. She tore through hedges, vaulted fences, sprinted into an alley smelling of wet cardboard. The SUV prowled past, searching. Then another set of footsteps, a soft, deliberate. Riley spun, helmet raised. Easy, soldier, Jax Rivera said, hands up. Ink-sleeved, unbothered, leaning against a tarp-covered bike. Not with them. Your Ducati's under here, keys inside. Go. Why help me? Connor's dead. Just put 20 grand on your head, dead or alive. And nobody should run alone. They rode into the night, rain stinging like buckshot. SUVs closed in. Jax aimed the Ducati at a collapsing wooden bridge slick with rain. We're not going to make it, Riley yelled. We're not stopping. The bike flew. Heartbeat. Another. They landed hard. An SUV clipped the edge, flipped, burst into fire. Another skidded into the ravine. The last retreated. They hid in a half-collapsed barn. Jax lit a fire. Riley finally spoke. Project Reflex wasn't about protecting kids. Dad said it was survival training. Active shooters, kidnappings, disaster scenarios. Sounds like child soldiers with better PR. Jax muttered. Riley shook her head. He was building escape routes for kids who'd never get one. Jax handed her a flash drive pulled from under her bike's seat, her name etched on it. Shaking, Riley plugged it in. Her father appeared on screen, gaunt in a concrete room, a single bulb swinging overhead. Riley, a broken bar. If you're seeing this, I'm gone. They're coming for you. Reflex isn't defense, it's control. They want kids who fight without thinking. You are the best. Use it. Disappear. Live. Then coordinates. A storage unit. A code. Her birthday backwards. Morning came pale and quiet. Jax handed her bitter coffee. So what now? I finish what he started. You're going back to school? To the parking lot. Connor's dad wants a war. Let's give him one. Jefferson High was chaos when they arrived. News vans, cop cars, students pressed behind caution tape. Connor stood on his dad's BMW, arm in a sling, preaching to cameras. She's dangerous, a trained killer. His father nodded, already spinning the narrative. Riley killed the engine. The crowd froze. Phones rose. A tactical team emerged from the JIMA. 6 men in black gear, moving in perfect formation. Riley raised her helmet. One chance. Walk away. They charged. 10 seconds later, 6 men were groaning on the ground. Riley turned to the cameras. Rain beginning again like memory. This ends now. She held up her father's flash drive. Everything about Project Reflex is here. My father died exposing it. I won't. She threw the drive to Mia, who already had a laptop open. Upload everything. Within minutes, the files were everywhere. News feeds, social media, forums. Hashtags exploded. Connor's dad tried to flee but state troopers blocked the exit. Cameras captured every second as he was arrested. 3 days later, Riley stood in the same lot at sunset, asphalt dry, students nodding as they passed. Connor and his crew expelled, charges pending. Mia rolled up with a newspaper. You did it. We did, Riley said. Jax tossed her a new helmet, matte black, her name stenciled in red. Road trip. First stop at Tulsa. They rode off, leaving the campus behind. 6 months later, in Portland, kids filled a community center learning to fall without fear. Riley taught them self-defense. Her green sweater still her armor. A girl barely 12 nailed the perfect hip throw. Riley's smile finally reached her eyes. Jax tinkered with the Ducati in the corner. Mia worked phones in the office, coordinating support for families affected by Project Reflex. The program was gone. Mia defunded, dismantled, its architects awaiting trial. Riley thought the fight was over. Then her phone buzzed on the mats. Unknown number, a short message. Coordinates in the Nevada desert. She looked at the kids laughing, at Jax wiping grease off his hands, at Mia waving through the window. She pocketed the phone and walked back to class. Some fights don't end with knockouts, they end with choices. Her father chose to protect kids who couldn't protect themselves. Now she carried that promise. Somewhere in the distance, rain began again, and a red motorcycle revved. The legend was far from over.